So, what is going on, guys? This is Ryan here.
And this is the Ryan here.
And today we're going to be talking about the Golden Freddy character and both the good and bad ending images that we get and why he is so important.
Yes, now as we know, in the bad ending there are 5 animatronic heads with their eyes lit up, and in the good ending we only see 4, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the 5th one isn't there.
Yeah. Initially we kind of believed that the good ending triggered the Golden Freddy to disappear, didn't we?
Yes.
Like kind of his animatronic head would just be totally removed, but a lot of people have been commenting and suggesting the fact that he's still actually there, but he's in the, I suppose you could say, in the darkness behind the animatronics. And I suppose this kind of makes sense, because if you actually look at the light source that is present in the good and bad ending, we can kind of see that it's kind of like a ring of light, isn't it? Almost like a spotlight shining down on these animatronic heads. Now, it just makes you think, of course, if this is only the light source, we wouldn't actually see the head in the background if the light in the head wasn't on. So he may be still there, but we just can't see him.
Yeah, I believe this was done on purpose as some kind of metaphor from Scott himself, saying, you know, because as we know, Golden Freddy's always been this guy in the background kind of thing. He's never been like a main kind of character. He's always just appeared randomly, and you only see him on very rare occasions, so yeah. Yeah,
that's a good point to raise, and I think another interesting thing we need to think about is Golden Freddy as a character as a whole, I suppose. Now, we've always kind of regarded Freddy, or Golden Freddy, should I say, as this kind of unique and kind of, he's a sinister character, isn't he? I mean, he's very secretive.
Definitely, yes.
You don't kind of, he's not as obvious as the other animatronics, and he is definitely a secret. When people encounter him, they definitely call it an Easter egg, and it's not like when Freddy comes in your office, you don't kind of go, you know, Easter egg, do you?
Yeah.
It's just kind of the game mechanic, and when he kind of shows up, it automatically triggers this heightened reaction. So, it just makes you think, if his head is actually in these shots, that kind of supports the idea that he has a child also stuffed inside of him, and he was possibly the 5th child that was murdered.
Yeah, it's interesting that he's in the shadows, because in the Happiest Days minigame, at the very end, when we've completed all the minigames, there are 5 children, including the marionette that we play as. And they all disappear and the masks all drop to the floor. So we know that all of them have disappeared.
Yeah.
So why is this Golden Freddy the only one that's not shown up in this ending?
You mean in the good ending?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if all these kind of children have to work together, they have to do, or should I say, well, it's been speculated actually who's actually playing these mini-games and kind of getting the good ending. A lot of people are saying it might be the marionette kind of going to great lengths to kind of do this. So it just makes you think, if the marionette, or the puppet, as a lot of people now regard him as, it's going to these great lengths to save this one single animatronic, and it has to combine everyone together to kind of get this. You would have kind of thought that the ending would show Golden Freddy's head in the spotlight, and possibly these 4 guys surrounding him, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and thinking about it, we don't actually see the marionette either. I don't know why I didn't think of that. That's very strange, because they all disappear, so yeah, that's a very odd one. But I was thinking, in the Give Gifts, Give Life minigame in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, we give gifts to these childs that we find. I think it's a cake that we give to these children that we find in each individual minigame. So,
well, it begins as a present, doesn't it?
Yeah, so is this like
this
like a lengthened out version of that minigame that we played?
Well, another way to think about it as well is that in the Gives Gifts and Give Life, in the last frame there's a 5th child, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah, so it kind of backs up the idea that this 5th child may actually definitely be Golden Freddy, because of course the jump scare that follows after we see this sequence of events is the Golden Freddy jump scare, and with that 5th child being very secretive, and now we kind of have confirmed this in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, it almost makes sense, doesn't it? To kind of sandwich these together. And I think the all-important question from this video that we have to consider is that we have to do so much work to free this character, or should I say this child. So what's his significance over all of these other animatronics? I mean, why is it that all of these children have to all combine together to try and save this one child, which in turn creates kind of, I suppose, almost like a different paradox, and it separates these children from their purgatory state and allows them to be at peace. Like, they have to do so much work, and once they kind of please this one character, that's when it all happens. Before that, absolutely nothing. They're stuck in this state. It's really interesting. Yeah,
it doesn't make sense. I mean, people say Golden Freddy doesn't have much significance throughout the storyline, but I mean, what you just said there, he's got a lot of significance, especially if you want the good ending. And also in the dream sequence in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, I mean, on the 3rd night, Golden Freddy is apparent, he's a physical entity, he's there in front of you, so he does definitely have some kind of control also over these animatronics as well, I believe.
It could quite possibly have that. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Alright, and that's a finalised pointer, guys. Something really interesting you should all think about when it comes to these good endings. When are we actually seeing these animatronic heads in the light? Because I was thinking about this, and if you look at the actual Chica head, you can see it's kind of been cleaned, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And you know, Chica was kind of in that burnt state and things. Well, I suppose the animatronics were in a decently clean state as well in the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 establishment, but we kind of know Five Nights at Freddy's to have this really unique checkered pattern on the floorings, don't we?
Yeah.
So it makes you think, are we seeing these heads in one of the Five Nights at Freddy's rooms, or are these in the auction room?
Yes. And this actually looks like the same kind of spotlight on the Freddy hat on Scott Games at the moment.
Yeah, that it does, definitely. So, alright then, guys. That is another theory for you all to think about. Comment down below what you guys think, because I think this is an interesting topic, don't you?
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, because I think a lot of the community's kind of sidetracked this and they've thought about the storyline. I think we really need to think about these characters now.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So alright then guys, that's about it for this video. Of course, like the video if you do enjoy, and hey, why not subscribe if you're new around here for more theories and also gameplays. Thank you very much for watching the video guys, and we'll see you on the next one.
Goodbye guys.
Want to see even more content from us?
Consider liking and subscribing to ensure you'll see all content in the foreseeable future.
And hey, why not check out our past 2 videos?